So she locks us in a room, snuggles up to my arm, and says, "How do the plans look?" And I'm going, "What?"
Well, what I'm doing is, holy crap, Legend, you're actually here!
Yeah, I was in stasis for a little while.
Anyway,
hello everyone.
How does it feel to be part of the year 2017?
How does it feel to be part of the year 2017? It feels. And that's a lot more than I can say for the last few days, weeks, months.
Yeah, I would say about a month and a half you were gone.
Yeah, I apologize, guys. I had to do my stuff. School.
Yeah.
Bad juju.
Anyway, hello everyone. We are the Legend Hunters, and sadly no Akari or Muzi this time around, so we're doing Classic Hunters today.
Mm-hmm. I am back.
So to be fair, that is partially my fault. I did not distribute the schedule until 3 a.m. the prior morning to recording.
Yeah, I was about to ask about that.
Or actually 3 a.m. of the day of the recording. Actually, that's what it is.
Yeah. What the fuck, Leo?
Okay, well, you want me to go ahead and take into this because I'll basically be going through this backwards in terms of how my week's been.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right.
For starters, Dragon Quest VIII on 3DS.
Woohoo!
Boy, is it a good game.
Is it a lot better than the PS2 version?
I would say so. Having the ability to craft items without waiting on the overworld forever is a godsend. I know they definitely tweaked the payout for skill points, so that way you actually get a meaningful amount every time you level up. Helps a lot. The second screen to show the map and give you a relative idea of where the fuck you're going is oodles better. And just generally a lot of simplicity and streamlining with the system overall. The last time I picked it up, I think I had just finished Argonia. No. I just beat Dual Magus. Which is the halfway point for the game, actually.
Spoilers, but yep.
This is a game from 2007?
Yeah, and I only got a PlayStation 2 later. So...
Well, we can't spoiler everything on the count that you either refuse to look it up or have not caught up with it yet. I believe I'm trying to remember what the terminology is, but the limit on it is 5 years, and at that point you're on your own. And besides, even for this game, that's not really a spoiler as much as it is an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Pretty much.
If you've played any of the Dragon Quest games, you should know that with very few exceptions, the original reason you're going to adventure is not endgame. I can actually think of very few Square Enix games where that's actually the case. But I digress. I've been wrapping up a bunch of things. I had to go ahead and get Red and Mori into my party. Red you get as part of the main quest line, but Mori you have to actually go and beat S rank on the monster pit to go ahead and get him into your team.
Oh, that'll be a bitch.
Not to mention they have the double S rank now.
No, it's just called rank X.
Oh, God.
Which I think you go up against Bangers and Mash and the 4 Mori girls, I think, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But they are tough, and it's not recommended until post-game.
Jesus Christ, so you can't even use Mori for the final boss.
No. You only need to beat rank S to get Mori. Rank X is something else.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So rank S is Mori, but there's a rank above him, and that's rank X, where it's the special content. But no, I've been going through unlocking they added a lot of extra costumes for characters now.
Yeah, you mentioned one miter costume.
You can be a Christian Goth Christian Goth Pope.
Which is simultaneously hilarious and doofy.
Yeah, it does look kind of weird.
Because it's the gothic edgelord strap costume with the leather jacket and the pants and stuff, but it's white silver, and instead of like a fedora, he has on a studded mitre.
It looks like a Pope hat.
I
No, it
think
is
he
the
would
Pope
look
hat.
awesome
the mitre,
without the
that's what it is.
hat.
But it's white and it's studded around the edges. It looks like something a Christian punk band would wear.
Ooh, I can actually summon.
But that's only one of the extra costumes for the hero. Other characters get costumes. Yangus and Red get to be pirates.
Yar har har.
And Red also gets to be a Kanoichi.
A ninja.
Nice.
Jessica still gets even more costumes, even more than the ones she
course.
already had from Dragon Quest VIII originally.
Oh yeah, she already had the most costumes back in the day.
Yeah, she now has more. You can get her in flavors of stereotypical Halloween witch, pop star, or Hermione Granger.
Which is kind of awesome.
All of them, I think, with the exception of the Hermione Granger outfit and the studded Jesus outfit for the hero, you have to acquire via alchemy.
Really?
Yeah, the hero stuff I think you get from one is from a chest. No, you get the chest piece from I can't remember where you get it, but you get it from I think a quest line, and you get the hat from the casino. Meanwhile, for the Hermione Granger outfit, you have to complete there's an additional step in Dodgy Dave's questline that you trade him a new item for the Hermione Granger costume.
I see.
Oh, and you can alchemize Hakama and kimono for Angelo.
Nice. So are they adding any Japanese land, or what's going on?
It just says in the Far East. They don't specify where, even though in prior games they've called Eastern region Zipangu, which is the old term for Japan. They've done all sorts of things, but this time they're just saying no, Far East. There's no real place in the continent that would make sense for this to come from. They're just sort of, we're putting it in here because we want to, don't get on our backs.
I see.
One of the new things they added is that there's a new dungeon. It's a small dungeon that you have to go through before you take on Rapthorn.
I see.
That basically just resolves a plot thread, which I am not going to go ahead and say because the plot thread that they resolve isn't really a plot thread as much as it makes it a nicer, cleaner ending. Ending for a side character.
I see.
It's really nice, really fitting, and I think it expands on the character a bit more, which is not unwarranted, but it is a nice conclusion to see. And that boss, Jesus Christ, that boss. That boss was the closest thing I've ever been since I picked up the game to getting wiped out. So it is no slouch. I think it's kind of optional though, because you don't really get anything out of it aside from upgrade material. But it is something to do.
I see.
Otherwise, I've sort of just been grinding and building up for the final boss encounter, and that would be that. By the way, getting the new alternate ending, actually really simple after you've done the plain ending.
Really?
Yes, so I have to go over this legend, so deal with it.
Alright.
Okay, so there's two endings in the original Dragon Quest VIII. One, which is you get by completing the normal game. And the second, that leads you to marrying the Princess Medea by completing the Dragovian Trials, which is essentially the extra dungeon in the original Dragon Quest VIII.
I see.
Now, instead of doing that, you have a second option. After completing the Dragovian trials, if you go back to Alexandria, you have a cutscene play, and it basically unlocks the option to marry Jessica instead.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the one hand, I do like Jessica as a character, and she does seem to have. I see a lot of people that do ship DQ8's hero with her.
Yes.
If only as a sort of wish fulfillment. I don't know. She's definitely got.
It's very much wish fulfillment.
Oh yes.
Because as I kind of said, this is only available in the 3DS version. So it's very clear that they took feedback from the original players and then decided to add this into the game.
I'm sure. It is probably one of the nicer forms of fan service beyond just dressing up your characters in skimpy costumes that I've seen. And
by the way, they actually censored the costumes from their original PlayStation 2 versions.
I'm sure they did. I know that they got rid of one of Red's attires and made it somewhat less, how to say, skimpy?
Yeah.
Like, she was actually wearing a thong instead of shorts.
Yeah, they had to fix that.
But in terms of who they are as characters and story-wise, I would argue that Medea actually has the better ending in terms of just
because that's what they originally wanted. And
Yeah.
there was a lot within Dragon Quest VIII's the original game that went towards it, which is why it was the true ending after you did the extra dungeon.
Yeah.
Right. And
But there was so much of a fan outcry for wanting to see the alternate with Jessica that they went ahead and said, you know what, we can do that. And so they went ahead and they edited in that essential situation, which is actually kind of nice because they take some plot threads that were still hanging on from Jessica's backstory and basically tie those up as well.
and I'm okay with that. Though again, I will argue that it would kind of be mean to Medea. I feel just like a little bit of like, you're going through this entire quest to help fix the problem with Medea and King Trode.
Right.
And you actually get to speak with Medea a few times, and she hints that you and her were dating. To just go up and say,
not quite that,
But there was a spark.
There was definitely more of a relationship.
and not to mention that there was a big promise that was being made between, King Trode and, what's his face?
The King of Argonia.
The King of
Claudius.
Argonia.
Claudius.
So,
Claudius.
yes, Claudius.
Well, okay, so the thing with Claudius is that the whole reason that works for the hero is because it's a workaround. It's a what we call a strict interpretation of the letter, not the spirit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, technically, the hero is Claudius's grandson.
Right. He is, and the deal was married to an Argonian prince. Never said which Argonian prince.
Right. So, essentially, by saying, I love you, Jessica, you are taking Medea, who has basically been with you through thick and thin, has suffered being a horse and eating hay all her, journey, and saying, even though there was a spark between us, I'm going to let you basically take the shaft on this one and have to marry Prince Charmless.
No, I believe you mean Charmless.
That still doesn't actually happen because in the alternate ending, Claudius just goes ahead and says, "So you basically flied." He basically pulls the trump card anyway, and just uses it as a general revocation for Charmless, and basically ends it there without needing to bring in the whole, not marry this Prince of Argonia.
Yep.
And I think the counter argument to what you're saying, Legend, is that yes, there's a lot of backstory between her and the hero, but then you have Jessica, who is actually fighting alongside the player character. And at least back in some of the earlier Dragon Quest games, where you're like in Dragon Quest 3, where you really didn't have a named companions as much as who you created, and you create these little headcanon events where after in a bad battle things get tight, and you're hoping that you get to move first, so that way you can heal everyone up and you can finish the battle before anyone gets downed or anything like that, and it creates a lot of tension, much less the fan service that Jessica provides in and of herself. And there's quite a few moments where you see Jessica very much has a lot similar traits to Medea in not liking being tethered down by tradition and wanting to do their own paths.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough.
So I think that covers it pretty extensively in terms of that argument. But I agree with you. It's certainly, and that's why they added it in later, is because they want to focus on Medea first, and then when they saw this outcry for Jessica, they said, "All right, we'll throw this in as well for those who want it."
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
I think the only thing that would have helped it more is if they had added more, because there's a game where they've done this, where they've had you choose between two girls, and in the remake 3.
Yeah, the Dragon Quest 4, Hand of the Heaven. Wait, it was 5, Hand of the Heavenly Bride.
5 is Heaven. 4 is Chapters of the Chosen.
Yeah, 5 is Hand of the Heavenly Bride. You can actually choose between 3 different girls to be your wife.
Right, but the first 2, which was the original option in the original game, essentially mirrors the Medea-Jessica essential decision. You have one girl who is much more demure and much more, I would say, courtly, who is the sort of expected decision.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Jessica, who's been in the thick and thin with you, and has basically been by your side throughout the quest up to that point, and you can basically choose her as well. So I think that's I think that's interesting, given that they did not consider that, since Dragon Quest VIII took place after Dragon Quest V, even though it came later on, and the timeline for stateside releases is messed up slightly.
So yeah. Anyway, what else is going on with you, man?
Neo. Let's move from one weeaboo game to another.
Oh.
I've been playing a bunch of Neo. Really, that game requires a lot more skill than Dark Souls, in that you cannot power level yourself and expect things to get easier.
Really?
Yes, I'm 10 levels over what the suggested level should be for the area, and I'm still finding myself getting killed because I'm too anxious on the trigger.
Gotta learn to. Gotta keep that trigger finger in check.
Yeah, so it's certainly a much more skillful game. I've fought another 2 bosses. The human duels in that game, when you actually fight you come across certain points where you actually fight historical figures from the era, and those fights are as intense as, say, anything like Artorias from Dark Souls 1.
Really now?
They are intense, but they are fair because they play by the exact same systems you do, with, I think, one exception, in that the enemy I was facing had a bow that could fire in a triple spread.
So he was hitting you with a Contra spread shot in a Souls game?
Well, it was a one-shot, and he only did it when you were at mid-range. So it's still Dark Souls in that method, but it's something that you would expect, again, out of a character action game.
Really?
Which is what you gotta remember. That's what Team Ninja is used to doing. That's gonna be something that shows up. But he still has a stamina bar, he still has most of the same weapon attacks. He even will summon his own animal spirit to fight you with.
Huh. I think I know which guy you're talking about.
It's very much a fair fight, but it's one that requires you to actually be competent with the game mechanics as they are. So it's not like, oh, this will be like Artorias, I can just do this. Nope. You cannot rely on it that way, and you have to be very aware of what's going to happen.
I see.
Yeah. what else aside from Neo. I watched a whole bunch of History of Power Rangers.
Oh, been watching Linkara's shtick on
Yeah,
that?
I don't know how I got into it, but for whatever reason, I decided to put on the History of Power Rangers as I was going through my studies for the past couple of weeks. And so I was hearing him critique and review all about the Power Ranger series.
Yeah,
Some of which I agreed with him on, some of which I felt that he was too harsh, and others that I didn't think he was harsh enough on.
Oh, what ones do you think he was too harsh on?
I think he was a little bit too harsh on, come on, say out loud. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while. I want to say Jungle Fury and SPD. I think he had a little bit too severe critiques on them.
Jungle Fury.
No, not SPD, sorry. Lightspeed Rescue.
Oh, Lightspeed Rescue. Yeah, that was actually a good series.
Yeah, and he did not pan, like, Operation Overdrive, just in the trash, just pounded into the dirt.
It is not a good series.
Oh, it is terrible. And it is the bad kind of terrible, not the good kind of terrible.
Especially considering one of the actors was a complete and utter dickwaffle is the appropriate term.
I did not get too far into that review before I stopped.
The black guy in Operation Overdrive.
Oh, yeah, him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
He stole a signed that had all the characters from that series signed for a charity for disabled kids. He stole it.
Oh.
And he wouldn't give it back.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, that's still. I mean, you could argue that's still less than attempted murder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you know what?
But here's
Still
the
a
thing.
douchey
That
thing to
dude,
do.
the attempted murderer was a Red Ranger.
Yeah, that's
You
kind
can't
of
take that back.
fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah, that is very fucked up. Like that is going to be something like it makes you wonder whether or not you should buy because he was a Red Ranger in one series, and then he was an anti-hero in another.
Yeah, wasn't he like a bad guy in the Samurai series?
Yes, he was. So it kind of makes me curious whether or not that it would suddenly be whether or not it's harder to actually get those materials now because of his because I believe he either pled out. Either they found him guilty or he pled out. I don't remember which, but I know he's doing time. So yeah, just very interesting just to review the past in that way. A couple of other minor things. Done with school now, so that's good. Went ahead and found some lining up anime series and manga series to read. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good.
That is
How
very
about you,
good to
Ed?
hear. What about me?
Yes, 23 minutes in.
Oh, so you'd like to know what the hell I've been doing the last month, right?
Yes.
Pretty damn much.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say that I ran into some shenanigans going through school. For the better part of, well, I'm just going to say that I've had a class that I've been a little worried about for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
And my suspicions were confirmed when they changed it to an F behind my back. So I needed to go back and get that fixed, and that led to some sleep lost. But on top of that, I also had other classes that I needed to take care of, and this this is where things get a little funky as well. It was finals week, and the lead up to finals week was a pileup of research projects, as well as dealing with the fact that I was part of a group where my only other partner lives on the other side of the city. And that led to its shenanigans, as you can imagine.
So lots of standing in the middle of a parking lot.
Not really. Thankfully, we didn't have any of that. The days that we could actually meet, we did. And we got work done quickly. but we could only meet 3 times over the course of 4 weeks. And we should have met 10 times. We only had 3 or 4.
Yeesh, that sucks.
And we ended up doing what we needed to do. With what little time we had together, we did. Great. But that's on top of the fact that there was also a gigantic research project that I needed to do for another class that I'm still having nightmares about because it was the final. This thing was in a citation style that I'm not familiar with.
What kind?
Chicago Manual. In other words, the same stuff that you use to make the little notations at the bottom of the page.
Yeah?
That.
Really?
The professional grade shit.
I've only ever used APA format.
Well, I've had to use APA, AMLA, and now Chicago Manual due to my profession. And Chicago Manual was freaky at first. Thankfully, I did find some people who would help me out with it. But it was also unfamiliar enough to me after spending years working with APA and MLA that when I finally turned in the paper, I was having nightmares about periods and commas.
Really?
I shit you not.
Specific.
I
They
was
are very
having.
specific. The blue booking for law students is equally hellish because not only do you have to watch your periods and commas, you also have to worry about your italics and underlines.
Oh yeah. Though
And
I
they
was
will
used
dock
to those.
points if you italicize or underline a comma when it's not supposed to.
Yeesh.
Right. It gets to be a freaking nightmare, especially when you've got that guillotine of expulsion hanging over your neck.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, it is absolutely shit.
Ugh. So, that's over and done with.
I haven't gotten the grade yet, so the fever dreams haven't stopped. But, yeah, on top of that, on top of all that, was also a comprehensive exam about the history of the colonial United States. With a study group that comprised of one dyslexic person,
Joy.
one person in a wheelchair, and another person who, well, she had to cross over the entirety of campus in order to get to where we were. So there were many times where she was late as well. It was a nightmare.
So it was a collaboration nightmare.
Oh yes, very very much so. And then there was the test itself, also a nightmare. The comprehensive exam with a teeny tiny little blue book with a pen that does only write on every other line, and to boot, the professor knows that I have shit handwriting and was going to grade me specifically against it.
Okay, that's just asinine.
By the way, this is the same professor who takes off points for fun.
Oh, Mr. Miyagi?
Yeah!
We call him that because he's got a Japanese accent where he sounds like he just came off the boat.
And
I was
he
gonna
is...
say, Legend, your Anglo-European accent is coming through. I hope this doesn't turn Axis against you.
Oh, ha, 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 ha,
I'm
ha.
sorry, that joke was a bit Russian.
I hit you so much!
I suppose I should take the Switzerland approach and just stay neutral in this situation, shouldn't I?
Leo, you are cruising for a bruising like you have no idea.
Just do not cruise into my warships, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up with my gaming life, because, you know, I don't actually have as much to say about this one. It may surprise some to hear that I have the Legend Hunters in a game that is primarily about Dark Souls and Pokemon, have not been playing Dark Souls or Pokemon.
Oh, really? What have you
For
been
reasons
playing?
Oh, right.
Oh, God, no, I forgot!
Yeah, I've been playing Monster Hunter.
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Yeah, I've been playing lots of Monster Hunter lately.
No, you've been playing the game that I got Leo on a joke!
Okay. You say that again because we kept talking over each other.
Sorry. You're playing Conception 2.
Against my better judgment and realizing that my R button was becoming shit, I decided to say, well, if I'm not going to play Pokemon, I'm going to try another RPG that I already own, just play through it to see just how bad it can get, and see if there's anything in this game that I actually like.
Forgive my memory if I'm wrong, but don't you need the R button to do a specific combat function in Conception 2?
The L button can substitute for that.
Okay.
And my R button is not completely gone, but for an action game, it would get me killed. So I figured, you know what, slightly less risky venture.
For some new viewers, if we have any of them,
Why is Legend playing this game?
well, to expand on this, I had
So
gotten...
the deal is that we were browsing the Wii U. Was it the Wii U eShop?
Wii U eShop.
We were browsing the Wii U eShop, and we come across this game, which is an Atlas RPG, and we decide to go ahead and watch it. And the concept is basically create star children with girls via high school romance simulator, and go through dungeons like Persona.
So now, I am going to argue for and against. I will try to just limit it because I think I've already ranted about this before.
But here's the background gist is that I initially said that this is so hilarious that I would take it as a gag gift, and so Zero did buy it for me for a birthday one year. But it was a little bit rough to get into for my own tastes, and so I ended up pawning it off to Legend.
I'm not sure whether or not to complain about the fact that I paid money for it, or I don't know. I bought it out of like strange curiosity, just to like say, how bad could it be? And on the one hand, as much as I can complain about this game for its numerous faults, it is still an Atlas game. It is still an Atlas game, which means it does have a pretty good combat system. It does have a pretty good sense of its characters and their relationships, and the world itself is marginally intriguing enough that I would be willing to continue digging into it. But there is but one flaw. Well, there's two big flaws that I can think of for this game. The two biggest ones. Number one, sound design. Our hero is girlier than the 7 waifus he gets to choose from. To the point that I'm kind of just like mentally blocking him out as I attempt to play this game.
There is a reason the Persona protagonist is silent until they actually get the anime voice actors to give him a voice.
And they give him a manly as fuck deep voice. The baritones, the dude, you're making me curious kind of voice. Those are...
There's no booze in this at all.
There's no booze in this. Yeah, but
we'll talk about that another day. We'll talk about that another day, but please continue.
But they gave the other Atlas games, in any Persona game that we actually have voice acting in, or their animes for that matter, they gave him badass, sexy voices. This guy
sounds like you kicked him in the nuts 5 times over and then removed his vocal cords and replaced them with helium tanks.
They emasculated this man. And he doesn't even say that much. But what little he does say is... Why?
So we have a case of Mickey Mouse syndrome, is what you're telling me.
No, it's not a matter of a higher pitch. It's like... I don't know who was directing this poor voice actor to talk the way he did. And I think that he could have actually done a better job. But, like, how do I put it?
I believe there's a Ghostbusters quote. Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
No, this man has... I'm sure that he might have easily one of the biggest in the history of Atlas games.
Well, to be fair, they never explicitly state how you procreate to make a star child, so I don't think that it requires the same bodily functions.
I'm starting to question that. I'm far along. I'm far enough along the game where I'm actually starting to see some differences in the interactions, so to say. And yeah, it's getting to the point where I really cannot play this thing in public. Why am I talking about it here? Because why not?
I mean, with all due respect, it's the same people who make the Persona games, and they can fit in quite a bit and still get a teen rating.
I'm sure they can, and I can see how this would get away. How that would. I could say that Conception 2 really would fit within the teen rating because you don't really get to see much. But I kid you not, I'm at a point where when you actually get to classmate with your heroines, their body movements on their completely nude 3D models, minus the actual parts.
It's essentially a Sailor Moon transformation.
Only if they were dry humping. Yeah, I cannot play this thing out in public. I'm just curious to see where it goes, but you need a classmate in order to actually progress character storylines. So
I'm actually wondering what the hell your parents would say if they saw you.
Oh, they do not know. They do not know. They have nothing to do with it, and they will have nothing to do with it.
They will never know.
You pray none of your relatives ever show you the existence of this show.
I'm picturing your mother going like, "Ay, mijo, what are you playing?"
I'm old. Right now. Whatever. But for all of the things that I do dislike about the game, the sound design and all of that, and for shit that has happened to me while I'm playing the game, like dungeons giving me shit. Because the dungeons will give you shit. I continually get surprised by stuff that happens within the game that actually makes me go, oh my gosh, I'm actually having fun.
Example?
For one of the heroines, she's a little bit of an oddball. If you look at the cover, she's the one with the white and the black hair.
So she's rocking a Death of the Kid style bi-cut.
Yeah, she's rocking the Death style bi-cut, only it's like one ponytail is completely black and the other one's completely white. She has red eyes, and she talks weird.
Isn't she also the one with the giant machine gun?
Yes, she is!
I think that was the one we were like, okay, this is kind of awesome.
Unfortunately, it's probably the most lackluster of the weapons that I've seen.
Really?
Unfortunately, yes, but she makes up for it with her own freaking interactions. There's a point. I shit thee not. Well, let me just talk to you about her hobby. Just the one hobby. Because this is just absolutely bonkers. She makes magical toys. She makes magic toys. Nothing wrong with that, right?
Are they cursed?
No. They're not cursed. But she calls it, what was it, like Woodpecker or something like that? And she made an actual flying wooden model that flew around before it crashed. Then she decided to scale up and make a full-on goddamn biplane. Rideable biplane that she took off with and almost crashed into the side of the school. At this point, I'm looking at this and going, that is some horse shit, but I'm having a blast. Who the fuck makes a blast? Well, besides the Wright brothers, but wow.
I guess you could say that she's taking you for a ride there.
Oh, yeah. And her interactions are also fascinating. I if there's anyone crazy enough to follow me into this hell, I won't spoil it for you, but her interactions do get... Well, she's the most forward of the 7. I'll say that. Like, everyone else is like, I'm very nervous about this. I don't really know all that much about it. Please, I'm counting on you. That sort of stuff.
Let's not rush into things.
Yeah, they don't really like to rush.
We're potentially saving the world.
Mm-hmm. Like, they're doing it out of an obligation, and they feel embarrassed more often than not. Tori doesn't have any of that shit. She's like, okay, let's do it. And you're like, okay. And you jump right into it.
Oh, dear God almighty.
And she gets more into it as you continue going on. So, yeah. She's definitely got her... she's interesting. And
I'm suddenly regretting ever getting this game for you and Leo.
You didn't get it for me. I bought it from Leo. And I also did this out of just personal curiosity. And I believe in finding the good even within the bad. This is still an Atlas game, and character is still very strong with them. Yeah. And as a writer, I can fully back something that is like that.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Anyway, anything else going on with you, man? Or should we go on to my week?
Is there anything else that I have been doing? Well, I do want to clear up something as well. It's something that's related more to Silver Jolteon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, unfortunately, some stuff happened. I originally had the Pokemon Prism hack on the game, on my DS.
Yeah?
Leo, you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, just checking because it's been awfully quiet on you.
No, I've just been listening. I've been listening.
Okay, so I originally downloaded Prism onto my 3DS. And one of the big things about the 3DS, as I found out from Silver Jolteon, is that it's incredibly easy to hack compared to other systems. So the hacker community is vibrant and whatnot, but so is the update community for making sure that the hackers don't get away with hacking.
Oh, really?
Which is to say, if you update your 3DS and you've got hacked material on there, you will no longer have hacked material on there.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, I found out from Silver that the only reason they're still updating the 3DS is to stop the hackers. There hasn't been a single bit of original software on the freaking 3DS since about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, it's only to stop the hackers. And guess what I did for my 3DS?
You updated it.
I updated it and lost access to Pokemon Prism. Fuck. So, yeah, now I'm waiting to see if the hackers can break into the 3DS again in order to see if I can continue to play this amazing fan game.
Well, you can only hope.
I can only hope, and I am still waiting on Silver Jolteon. Silver's also been responsible for helping me out with actually cloning the some of the GameCube games that I borrowed from another cousin of mine, including one of Silver's own games, which might interest a few of you.
You want me to link it in the video description?
No. I think I can go ahead and just describe it in one phrase.
And that would be?
I fight for my friends.
Fire Emblem?
Yeah, Path of Radiance for the GameCube. He basically helped me hack a copy onto my old Wii, and it's now available whenever we want. We could actually record off of it.
Oh, dear God almighty.
Yeah. For better or worse.
That's intriguing, but at the same time, that game, any of the Fire Emblem games, I feel, are a lot harder to record.
They are, and ooh.
I remember watching the Green Scorpion do a Let's Play of Rekka no Ken, the Blazing Sword, and that one it was kind of a bear just to watch, just because they were antagonizing over every move. I don't know if they were playing at a harder difficulty, but it's certainly one where if the three of us were having to decide the fate of an army, we would have very different strategies.
Well, I say we could possibly do it, but we would have to have numerous war councils over what we're trying to do. And we would need at least a little prior experience with the level in order to get into it.
Yeah, like,
Right.
do like a practice round of each level and see how well we do.
Yeah, especially because I have not played any of the Radiant series.
Yeah.
So
I
I would be going in blind.
I have played the Path of Radiance just once, and I will say that it's got some things that are unique to it compared to the other Fire Emblems that I've already played. And it's also got stuff that, well, it's stuff that I prefer in other Fire Emblem games. Like, for instance, the fact that it follows classic Fire Emblem rules in that whoever you get killed gets killed for good.
Well,
don't.
the revival upon the end of a battle was not introduced until Awakening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people
that was
called
to sort
it
of make
nude
easier
fodder.
for a casual audience.
They called it casual fodder.
Casual
Right.
fodder. Good lord.
It's the thing that saved the series, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people didn't want characters to die.
It's basically, yeah, it's... while on the one hand, a big selling point to the Fire Emblem series is the fact that death has consequences. Permanent consequences, no less. On the other hand...
It's also a deterrence.
It's a really heart-wrenching thing to see the characters that you've been trying to work with all this time just kick the bucket.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, it gets to be... It can be a heart-wrenching thing. And I can understand why they did it, and I fully support, what the series has become. But it's also one of the few Fire Emblem games that we could actually probably record. So,
Well, technically, we can't record off the DS that Silver gave us.
Well, the other thing about that game in particular is that you can easily grind in Awakening to go ahead and power up your party.
You could. You cannot
most
do so easily in others.
And technically, I would say Sacred Stones is like my first Fire Emblem game. I'd rather say that Awakening was my first true delving into the series. And I'd like to actually do a Let's Play of that more than I would like Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn.
I think we all have much fonder memories of Awakening, not just in part because of the difficulty ease, because it's not so difficult in terms of scaling, and because of the fact you can grind, but also because there's a lot more of a memorable cast, and I feel that that's something that we could definitely take advantage of in our riffing.
Yeah, not to mention.
But I feel like we're detracting from Legends Week still, so let's get back to topic.
Okay, there is that. I also managed to get Symphonia back. I backed up a few of the different games, Symphonia being one of them, and we have that working out. So we do have those on the back burner, possibly, but given our history with recording Tales games, this is up in the air.
It's true, although we could just do the whole fuck it and just not even listen to the copyright claims. Because we're not making money off the series, and given how YouTube is laid out now, we're never going to make money off of YouTube.
That's fine.
Well, YouTube might be sinking for all we know.
So we might actually want to consider jumping onto vid.me.
Is that the new thing that people are using?
VidMe, yeah.
I feel old.
You feel old?
I don't know what's hip or trendy anymore.
Yeah, back what are all the you kids looking at nowadays? That's
Back in my day, there were only 151 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else here, Week Legend?
I may be picking up Sun soon, which probably is going to horrify a lot of people. You haven't been playing Pokemon Sun? Oh my gosh.
Although, I'm pretty sure you're fully aware of everything that goes on.
You already
in the
told us
game.
the reason, so we know why you haven't.
Right.
So, anything else?
I think I'm good.
Alright. Zero, how was your week?
My week.
Did you have a week? Did a week pass for you?
A week passed for me here and there. Mainly, I've been just kind of bored out of my skull. I've been actually working on a game. I've mentioned this before, but I've been trying to work on making an actual platformer game of sorts. And right now I'm currently playing Mario Kart 8, and everyone's being a complete and utter dick waffle.
Well, isn't that the point of any Mario Kart? To be the complete
Yes.
dick waffle?
Yes, it is. As a full-fledged veteran, your entire purpose is to dick over the other team.
It's not even a team. It's like every man for himself.
Yeah, pretty goddamn much. So, I'm going to pause for a second. Let's see, what I've been doing. Oh yeah, speaking of Fire Emblem,
Uh-oh.
I beat Fates finally, the third installment of Fates. I beaten Birthright first,
Revelations?
then Conquest, then Revelations. And I just have this to say. Why the fuck does every dragon look so goddamn freaky in this game? In the series?
Artistic license.
Seriously, the dragon that... Spoilers, you fight a giant dragon at the end.
Ooh.
It's a giant
Like
dragon...
you've never done that in a Fire Emblem game.
I think that was one of the original games, too.
I remember fighting a dragon in Sacred Stones. I remember fighting a dragon in Awakening. I remember fighting a dragon and a dragon and a dragon and a dragon.
But yeah, basically it's a giant dragon with like different parts on it. At first it looks like it has a weird silent stone-faced mask that kind of breaks open a little bit. But when it finally reveals itself beyond the mask, it's basically the head's a giant jaw, and inside is a rotating sphere with a bunch of eyes on it.
Ew.
Yeah!
Ew.
And you kill the dragon, which has like 80 health. You have to kill its left arm and then its right arm. Then you kill the head, which has like 80 health. And then you have to fight the giant sphere, which has like 80 health.
Quick, attack the core! Oh god, that reminds me of something else. I'll get to it once you're done.
But,
Shoot.
but anyway, I beat the game. I liked it. I still like Awakening a bit more than I do Fates. Like, I like the whole split story idea and everything, and there's a lot of nice characters in Fates, and some really sweet relationships, but I feel like by splitting it up, it kind of deterred the actual enjoyment of the game for me.
Like, you have to pay, like, additional amounts of money in order to get
Well,
a complete game.
Well, here's the thing. I was one of the lucky ones who got the one that had all 3 games on one cartridge.
Charlie.
Yeah. So, that's pretty much what happens. So I only had to pay for it once, and only just, like, the price for 2 games.
And I do appreciate the fact that it did lower the cost if you were going to buy the other ones by half.
It wasn't that much, to be honest. And, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, by splitting it up, they did create some interesting scenarios. Like, I did like actually trying to do the whole Conquest fighting style, like with the classic style, I mean, of just not doing all the grinding and just progressing forward, which meant it was actually a much quicker playthrough than Birthright or Revelations or even Awakening was for me.
But it's still hard as fuck, and on top of that, what you're up against in Nor is freaking bullshit.
Fun fact, Valoria, Keaton's daughter, broken as fuck!
Yeah, you've shown me how broken she is. So marry that boy as fast as you can, because you need all the help you can get.
Yeah, here's some advice. Either marry him to Corin, or marry him to Effie.
Yeah, she could become a brutal tank.
Because Effie gives the highest physical damage and HP to any of the children. It's like +7.
So she's is she the Donnie character of the game?
The Donnie character is Mozu, and she's her own level of oh god.
Turn her into a sniper and she beats Takumi like crazy. She outstrips Takumi and any other archer from Birthright, pretty much.
Yeah. So, there's that.
Yeah. So Mozu, Valoria, the Avatar, Xander, and a few others here and there. Basically, all the Bloodline family. It was basically my entire team for the final battle. Got right through it, no problem.
Nice.
That werewolf girl is a bruiser. She looks like Little Red Riding Hood, but as you said before, she paints the entire area in red.
Thank you for bringing up the analogy I brought up before.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, Fates is a good game. Still prefer Awakening. Kind of wondering what the remake of Gaiden's going to be like.
Well,
which is coming out pretty soon.
It's coming out this week.
Alright. I forgot to mention one thing from my week.
What is it?
When I was with Silver Jolteon and playing around with the hacks that he introduced, you reminded me of something that he introduced to me while I was there.
Oh, really?
And that is to say, he somehow managed to get onto the Japanese servers and has been playing the newest Monster Hunter game with the Japanese.
Really?
You're playing Double Cross?
Yeah, he's been playing Double Cross, and I got to fight the flagship and the final boss of the online series. And I would like to describe them here and just geek out over just what the fuck Capcom has created. Number one, the flagship. Its name currently in the Japanese, though this is of course subject to change.
Astalos.
This thing is going by the name Volfolk. And how do I describe it? Oh yeah,
A griffin with jet engines?
pretty much, yes. It's a griffin-type wyvern with jet engines. And missiles! Because why the fuck not?
Does this game just want to become about mechas?
You haven't seen anything yet. And this thing moves so fast that at one point during the fight, it literally breaks the sound barrier trying to attack you.
It hits you with a sonic boom.
And the music cuts out. Like you just got hit with a flashbang.
Really?
Yes. Holy shit. They called this thing the Comet Dragon. So, beyond that, there's also the final boss to Monster Hunter Double Cross. And this thing is easily one of the most joyous occasions I have ever had the pleasure of experiencing in any game ever.
And that would be?
It's currently going by the name of Atararuka. Also subject to change. But let me describe what I was thinking when I went into this fight. As a person who has played other Monster Hunter games, in general, the final boss for the online game is going to be something that basically requires a siege in order to take down. It has ridiculous amounts of health, is gargantuan in size, or hits like a goddamn motherfucking comet. Though, of course, we already have Volfolk, so I'm not going to talk about that. But in short, this is a thing that could one-shot you even with high-end armor. Going into this fight, I'm fighting something that resembles a 16-foot mantis with gold plating on it. And I'm thinking back to my old days in Monster Hunter, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's the size of the Mook monsters from the freaking 4th generation. Yes, I am fighting something that is about 100th of the size of what I'm used to fighting.
You're used to fighting things that are about the size of a 15-story building.
I'm talking the size of the Washington Monument. That's what I'm used to fighting in these online final battles.
Oh yeah, especially like with Delameter.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that motherfucker. But this thing is tiny. It's freaking tiny. I fought dragons bigger than this overgrown mantis cockroach motherfucker. And I'm fighting it, and I'm like, well, it seems to move fast, and, it's all good. But where does the fun start? Like, what's going on here?
How is this the final boss?
And at first, it doesn't seem fully apparent, obviously. But as you continue throughout the fight, you start noticing that it has a few tricks up its sleeve that are not standard. For one, for some reason, this thing uses silk. Whereupon it binds pieces of the ruins and starts basically lassoing them and throwing them at you. And you're thinking, well, how bad could that be? Until you see an actual Washington Monument being swung like a baseball bat. And then you go, okay, this thing is slightly entertaining. But that's not where the fight ultimately leads. Piss this thing off, and it wrangles what appears to be an upended pyramid of debris, straps it all to its back, creates a cocoon of golden silk, and basically creates the motherfucking Megazord. I shit thee not! It creates the Sphinx and starts trying to step on you.
Thank you for peeking the freaking mic.
Do you blame me?
No.
You've gone from fighting the Cockroach King to the motherfucking Megazord. And I'm looking at this and going, holy fuck! What am I looking at?
Well, I'm going to look forward to this when I finally get it, and
I highly recommend that you do.
And hopefully I can actually join the Commandos again, because I could not stomach them constantly chatting and stuff for a while.
It's been a while since I've had full correspondence with the rest of the Commandos, due to the fact that, well, I've had school.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to this game. This thing. It was just... Oh, and that's not even the best part about this thing. When you finally manage to break it out of its little cocoon of sheer unadulterated badass and awesome, it decides enough is enough, and it goes ahead and takes the giant wheel thing that it had strapped to its back and starts running you over with it like it's a goddamn Beyblade monster. All while it's being pulled along. And on top of all that, remember when I said about normally you have to basically wage a war in order to fight these things?
Yeah.
Well, in these wars, you have these sort of siege weapons known as the Dragonators, which are basically giant fuck-off battering rams that you basically fire off into a monster's face. This thing throws them at you.
It throws Dragonators at you?
It throws motherfucking Dragonators at you. It uses siege engines against you.
Well,
Oh my god!
Well, ain't that a slice of fried gold?
It is, and it's also painted gold. On top of that, it probably has one of the most broken armor sets in Monster Hunter history.
Seriously, what does it do?
You know what charms are, right?
Yeah, the little things that you can hold on, like
They're-
little pendants.
They're talismans that basically allow you to gain a few more extra points towards getting any skill. Ooh. The effect of the monster's armor is that it doubles the effects of those talismans, and it also doubles the effects of any skills that you currently already have gemmed into the armor.
Seriously?
Yes! It is stupid broken. I look forward to getting it immensely.
It's going to be hell to get, though.
Oh no, it's going to be a joy to get.
You're fighting a fucking pyramid mantis.
Yes, and then climbing up onto its back like a colossus, so that you can break apart its weak points for massive damage.
God damn, I need to get back into Monster Hunter.
Sounds like a blast.
It was. It really was. Yeah, it's gotten me very much hyped back for Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
So,
But we're probably not going to get that game for at least a year.
if we get the game at all.
Yeah, Capcom's kind of weird about that. Anyway, back to my week.
Please.
Really not much has been going on. I've been doing a lot of drawing, been working on that game, been working on a big backstory for it. I'm not going to even talk about it here because most of it's like spoiler for what I have planned.
Alright.
Right, you don't want to talk about it before you have the product.
Yeah, but I'm just going to... I think I've mentioned this before, but it's basically going to be a cross between Mega Man X, Ninja Gaiden, and Okami.
Interesting.
Definitely also leaning more towards Shovel Knight as well.
In terms of gameplay.
At least in terms of gameplay. Like, mix of Shovel Knight and Spectre Knight. And Plague.
Well, you can color me intrigued.
Yeah, just for now, it's called Project Inkbrush. That's all I'll tell for now. Other than that, I've been playing Mario Kart 8.
Yes.
How has that been?
I'm doing the 150cc finally.
How does it feel to have the training wheels off?
Feels like a bitch. Feels even more of a bitch when I race against Muzi.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Although Legend and I did play together yesterday, and
And I caught him by surprise.
mainly because I forgotten you had actually played 7 and some of the earlier ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It was a close race, but I won.
Yeah, but emphasis on it was close.
Very.
And I put you through the ringer. I'm
Yeah.
happy to say that, even though I don't know the maps as well as I should and the controls as well as I should. I gave you a little run for your money.
Ooh, indeed. And so far, I've been enjoying it. I can definitely see us maybe doing like little side videos of this. I just kind of burned out, damn it. And let's see. Yeah, I have considered like doing races of this, like for our channel maybe. But again, I'm not.
That would be a fun one to do for extra goodies.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm still learning how to use this game, and I'm still a little iffy on the controls.
Yep.
Yeah, you will have those moments of doubt, but you will eventually get the hang of it.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been working on a lot of drawings and stuff. I opened up commissions, going to be working on those. And really not much else has been going on with me, I don't think. I've been trying to find a job, but I'm thinking I might go back to school for like a teaching certificate.
Well.
So there's that. But I guess with that, we should go ahead and, an hour and 8 minutes in, get to the news.
Alright, let's get to the news.
Longest
Alright,
introductions ever.
I think this is.
Alright, so here we go. This is the big one because this is easily the one we've been waiting for and is going to be the one that sets the pace for the upcoming E3 in a month.
Yeah, we're...
But
you go ahead and explain. I'm sorry.
okay. So the deal is that they were going ahead and deleting a Nintendo went ahead through its YouTube channels in America and Japan and took out and removed an archive stream of Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
And so many people are thinking that that this is going to be the rumblings of Pokemon Stars.
Especially
Which is what
Game
makes people-
Explain and like the lead guy at Cerebi, who they all did a video on this to kind of explain their reasoning.
Right. So they're thinking that this is going to be the sign that we are going to get Pokemon Stars sometime mid to late 2017 for the Switch.
Which I'd really be up for.
I'm curious to see how they come since the Switch is sort of their mainline product now and is their main console. I'm curious to see, because this would be the first time since Pokemon Coliseum that a Pokemon main entry, and even then, the Coliseum wasn't really a main entry, but the first time we've had a main Pokemon game come back to the main system for Nintendo.
Yeah, this would be pretty interesting.
Other than that, we don't have too much to go on, but we do have an idea that more of the same is still coming. Nintendo is saying that they are not going to be a part of E3, but they will be hosting a Treehouse Live event, and they will be streaming their own presentation to reveal what they're doing.
Well, that'll be interesting to see nonetheless.
Do you guys want to share your thoughts or opinions about what you would like to see, aside from Pokemon Stars, appear at their Nintendo Direct?
Thinking about it, and
I'll have to see before I can make full calls.
No, but I'm saying, like, what would you like to see Nintendo show you? Like, we would like to sell you this. What would you like Nintendo to sell you?
I'd like to see more info on the new Xenoblade Chronicles game that they're planning.
I would like to see them flesh out good games. I've heard that they've been doing some good stuff and they've been doing some questionable stuff. But then again, that's kind of par for Nintendo.
Yeah, they do a lot of good things, but then they go around and do, like, it's always 1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Well, I would say that they alternate between 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, or 2 steps backward and 3 steps forward. It depends. It honestly depends.
Yeah.
I would be curious to see about. I'm curious to see what they're going to do, because one of the big hints that's going to show up is the Super Mario Odyssey.
Well, that's not coming until this holiday season.
Right, but it's going to show up at E3. So what I'm saying is I'm curious to see what they're going to do with that, considering that Breath of the Wild was such a far departure away from a traditional series.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is going to be a case. Is this going to be a case of Super Mario Galaxy or Super Mario Sunshine?
Well,
yeah, Odyssey is looking very, very much along the lines of an unknown. And I should also know, even Galaxy wasn't that successful in comparison to some of the 2D games that came out. New Super Mario Bros. Wii, very successful.
Yes.
Yeah, but still. Okay, I can't play
I would
talk
like
at the same time.
I'm also curious to see whether or not Nintendo, as opposed to a third-party developer, would be the one revealing ports such as Skyrim or Fallout.
That's a good question. Like, I would like to think that Nintendo would like to have like a firm control on what gets released and stuff like that. But lately, Nintendo's had a history of being hacked, and I'm actually kind of questioning whether or not those hacks are intentional or not.
I can assure you that not all the hacks are intentional. Okay, another thing that I heard from Silver on the note of hackers, and this is actually kind of hilarious. The hackers actually gave a word of warning to Nintendo, saying, you have this amount of time to patch these little holes in your system before we go ahead and take advantage of it for ourselves. And if you do not comply, we are going to take advantage of this, and we are going to laugh. Nintendo wasn't fast enough. And they actually did manage to, do their hacking game. If that makes any sense at all. Like, they gave Nintendo the warning, Nintendo didn't take them up on it,
yes.
And the hackers basically steamrolled all over it.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Okay, moving on.
Alright, in addition to that, Sony is also going to be doing their E3 conference around the same. It also put the date for their E3 conference. Amongst the things that people are saying that are going to be focused, God of War, hopefully whether or not we're going to be in the Norse realm this time, Days Gone, the next zombie Thriller and The Last of Us Part 2.
No word on Hideo Kojima's what the fuck shit?
Nope, he has expressly not commented about what he's doing with Death Stranding. But with Kojima, no news is good news for him.
That is true for the most part.
For the most part, so I don't think we have to really worry about him as much. I'm more curious to see what other developers are doing. Remember that Bethesda has not come out with a game in a while, and they have effectively wrapped everything up since from Fallout 4 going onward.
Yep, from Fallout 4, Doom, and all that other stuff.
So technically, the next game that should be on the block is we should be coming back to Bethesda. We should be coming back to Elder Scrolls at some point.
I'd like a new Elder Scrolls game.
And talking about that, considering that I have followed a few of the different things, people are wondering whether or not the next installment of the series is not in fact Valenwood, aka the place where the Wood Elves come from, Somerset Isles, which is the place where the High Elves come from, you know, the Nazi bastards that you've been killing for fun ever since you picked up the game,
Now I want to play Skyrim.
and or looking at other realms within the Elder Scrolls, such as Hammerfell, and even elsewhere, the freaking land of the Khajiits.
I'd like to go there, but then again, I'm afraid.
I know you
It would
prefer
be
that.
curious to see how that would work out.
Ha ha ha, very funny, legend.
Wah, wah, wah.
Anywho, what's next on the list? I'm busy replugging my PS4.
He actually
Okay.
is going to play Skyrim.
Alright, let's see, what do we have here? We have a weird WTF moment from our good friends in the Jolly British England Isles. J.K. Rowling apologizes for killing Professor Snape.
Now, I should note that the Polygon article that you have posted here, Leo,
Yes?
it does post the actual quote that J.K. Rowling is using. So,
Yes.
while the article does say J.K. Rowling is apologizing for killing Snape, what they fail to list is the context and what was actually said and why this is such a little derpy thing.
This is why
Okay.
Polygon is trash.
So,
Alright, why don't you explain that to me then, our resident off our tour?
okay, so, according to Polygon, everyone was heartbroken about Snape. Like, oh god, Snape was dead, and J.K. Rowling's apologizing for it. But what J.K. Rowling was actually doing was basically playing the part of an internet troll.
Yeah, that's been her job lately.
Yeah, so J.K. Rowling's exact words on her Twitter. Okay, here it is. Please don't start flame wars over this, but this year I'd like to apologize for killing, in parentheses whispers, ... Snape. Asterisk runs for cover, end asterisk. And this was in response to many fans asking her to apologize for Snape being mean to Harry over the years. And
Oh, and the Dursleys get a free pass?
yeah. No, Snape is the one. Yeah, and some of the people are confused and saying, no, we'd rather have an apology for bullying Harry, but it's whatever, I guess. So, she's just having fun with her fans. Honestly, if she really was apologizing for Snape in earnest, I would lose respect for her as a writer. Because she set up that death very well. And I would have to say that it turned Snape into one of the most fascinating characters in her entire series. So,
Right.
good on her for killing Snape.
Snape was still a complete nut dickwaffle, though.
Oh yeah, and that's why we love him. Page 394.
Rest in peace, Alan Rickman. You are an amazing Snape.
Yes, you were, and you will always forever be the most fabulous Snape actor.
Seriously, after I saw Snape in the first movie, that's how I pictured him forever.
Oh yeah, even though he actually...
which is why I put this article on here. Is the whole point of this basically, are they apologizing because they like the character, or did they want the apology because they liked the way Alan Rickman portrayed the character?
I say...
A bit of both.
I say J.K. Rowling is a troll, first and foremost, and
Right.
that whatever the fans think, it is set in stone what has to happen in the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what kind of fucking fan fiction you write, Snape died.
And he's better dead. Otherwise, we wouldn't have Harry naming his fucking kids.
Dumbledore!
What's up?
Nothing.
We'll probably catch that when I read through this again. God dang it.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so there you go. Though it makes me wonder who would win in a troll war, J.K. Rowling or the Wendy's girl?
Ooh, hard to say.
By the way, I just gotta say, the whole Wendy's troll thing, brilliant marketing.
Yes.
It's kind of like the Sonic the Hedgehog official Twitter as well.
Oh yes.
Are we gonna rope Sonic into this best troll of the year?
Okay, so next year for the NCAA conference, there needs to be a flame conference of where you take all the notorious Twitter trolls and you go ahead and have them square off against each other bracket style.
I think the winner of Troll of the Century, though, might have to go to the motherfucker who pissed off Oprah Winfrey. Because he said something that is obvious troll bait. Anyone on the internet who's familiar with trolls knows you don't feed the trolls. But Oprah ended up answering him and basically created a meme against her.
I think I missed this. What the fuck?
It was something that happened a while back. I forget where, I forget when, but I think if you look up the keywords Oprah Winfrey gets trolled, you might come across it.
Okay.
And you'll see the typical troll fare, so to say. But the fact that he was able to actually get her to respond in such a way was, well, kudos to him for doing it. Okay, so, let's see.
Alright, let's move on here. What do we have next?
This one.
Okay, so here we go. This is a follow-up to an earlier story we reported about. But it seems that the Breath of the NES fan game, which was essentially a 2D remake of Breath of the Wild, has been pulled.
Of course, Nintendo pulls all the fan games.
Though, to be fair, I have to wonder if they pulled this one for the fact that they were using the copyright, or for the fact that they didn't want this game to continue to put a mark on them. Because I've actually seen little bits of what it looks like, and honestly, I'm not a fan.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this particular remake.
Really?
Yeah, which may sound like sacrilege, but no, I'm not gonna take it back.
Well, I mean, the idea is that they were trying to stay true to the original roots of the intent, which was it's a 2D roaming Zelda, which is what the original plan document called for.
Right, but it played pretty poorly.
Huh.
Right.
So
I mean, there was a reason why they eventually said we're going to change it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why they went into the 3D design that they did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So on the one hand, you could say, well, Nintendo's just being a bunch of meanie poopy heads. But on the other hand, they could just be doing quality control and just making sure their license isn't being, China'd.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Look up any of the bootlegs from China on JonTron's channel if you still have the guts to watch them.
Yeah,
Although they did say that they were planning on coming back with a bet, they were planning on coming back bigger Nintendo licensed stuff and then put their own concepts in, and then you will have an equally fun game that just that it plays the same, just has a different flavoring to it.
That's interesting.
So I'm looking forward to see what they eventually decide to come out with.
Make it good!
You know
Or
what?
I'm going to actually take Nintendo's side on this one.
You know what I think Nintendo might also be doing by canceling all these things?
Hmm.
Killing them and then trying to hire the people who made them into their company.
If that is the case, but I don't know. It honestly depends.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, next on this list,
Next on the list.
Gitaru Man and Parappa creators want to do
Oh,
cutesy Samurai Champloo with Project Rap.
Yep.
Project Rabbit.
Really?
Yep.
Yes. Look
So-
at this thing. This thing basically looks like a cartoon Saturday morning version of Samurai Champloo, and especially with the rap-inspired background. Oh yeah, it's going to bring back some memories.
This is going to sound kind of sacrilegious, but I did not like Samurai Champloo.
Well, I don't mean towards Samurai Champloo. I mean for Parappa the Rappa and Gitaru Man.
Oh, it's the Nano Sha or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, they're making a game, but it has hip hop in feudal Japan.
If they can pull it off, this could be fun.
I'm looking at the trailer right now to see what's going on, so you're kind of saying...
It looks Japanese. It looks weeaboo beyond belief.
It is, but in a cute way.
Exactly.
We've got a robo unicycle with a frog laying down on it, and a giant mother freaking shogunate frog who's towering over the building like he's freaking Gojira.
And a very cute main character.
And weird shit flying in the background, too.
So
So, I'm looking forward to that.
that was a weird little thing.
I'm looking forward to watching
yes.
someone else
So
play
yes.
that.
Yes, Masaya Matsuda and Keiichi Yano, both known for their PlayStation system rhythm games, are joining forces to go ahead and create on paper one of the most absurd concepts ever.
If they can make it work.
But
And
considering
kudos
who
to
we're dealing with, they have the pedigree to make it work. And so this is certainly exciting to see what they're going to do. Now, to be fair, they've had some blunders in the past. Having to make lip karaoke games for the Xbox is not exactly a fun way to do business.
That's true.
Aye.
Huh.
But yeah, so they're basically going to go ahead. They basically provided the concept, saying it exists, and hopefully we might get something before or during E3.
Alright, that might be interesting to see.
All right, what's next? All right, we have Darksiders 3 story details that were leaked from Amazon of all places.
Weird.
Yes.
Darksiders 3. I don't even think that the first two were all that even good.
They were standard affairs. Although now I'm curious to go see them just so I can get some context for it now, because they want to go ahead and essentially do. So essentially, they are going to be doing they're making this a 4-set quartet series. Given by what they wanted to do, they had War and Death. They're having Fury, and I think Strife is what they substituted for Plague.
Strife?
Strife, yes.
Really, Strife? I don't know, what. That just sounds kind of goofy to me.
Yeah, it does kind of goofy, but when you consider the design and how metal it has to be, they really wanted to just focus on smashing things and didn't think about making each of the characters objectively different.
Huh.
So, so this was leaked. They have.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Quite honestly, this is one of the reasons why I sort of dislike some of the more modern, more mainstream games, because I don't know, it's just, I have issues with it because I think that it could be so much more, and that the realm that they basically shoehorn themselves into is so bland. The most vibrant thing on the page is the character's hair, and even then that is still dark. I think we've reached a point where everyone is trying to be edgy, and now it looks immature.
We've got the 90s were when edgy was the thing. The whole edgy edgelord McEdgerson characters.
I'm so edgy, I got zippers for eyebrows.
Squall Lionheart, for example.
Oh god, I think there's a reason why. That's one of the main reasons why I hate Final Fantasy games. Squall is a git. No, that isn't just because I'm quoting Spoonie, because, you know what, fuck him, because he's dead pretty much, in terms of the reviewer community. No.
Socially dead.
Socially dead. Squall is a git. A complete and utter git, twat, and dumb fuck.
Even more so than Cloud Strife?
Cloud at least had a personality at the beginning.
Wait, okay, at the beginning I was about to say, I hope you're qualifying that statement.
I'm not talking about the Advent Children bullshit. I'm talking about in the original game.
I'm not talking about Advent Children either. I'm talking about the main game.
Yeah, in the main game, when it first started out, he was kind of goofy a little bit. He was actually a bit of a goof.
Well, our memories will be re-enhanced when we actually get our hands on Remake.
I'm thinking the remake might get rid of all the goof entirely.
Well, we will see. We will see. Remember, we've only been basically shown, like, the intro opening, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what else we're going to see, but...
I mean, we will have to wait and see exactly what happens, but there's plenty of opportunities for them to expand on the characters better, but we will see. But anyway, let's move on. I think we've had enough shooting this thing in the barrel.
Yeah, next up we have Code Vein. We have a gameplay trailer for this thing from Bandai Namco.
Uh-oh.
Yes, this is the Prepare to Die game that they were ribbing about earlier in the year.
Prepare to Die, anime style.
No, die
No,
as in
Prepare to Die
dinner.
as in eat.
Oh, okay, well, let's see.
Yeah,
That was the joke.
it's basically anime Dark Souls.
Like I said.
With vampires.
Oh. You mean like Bloodborne?
No. Think Tokyo Ghoul, but with vampires.
Man, Japan really went to shit once the edgelords took over.
Yeah, look at all the edges everywhere.
It's so
Yes.
edgy, I'm cutting myself just by looking at it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why everyone's dead.
Yep, so showing the trailer to Legend.
Oh no, there's a dead thing on the ground. With a sword stuck in it.
Yeah.
Oh god, that hair! Oh, come on.
That's like stealing from...
What is this, Tales of Berseria all over again?
Wrong arm.
As much humor as it is to try and get you guys' live reaction, we do have a show to do.
I know, but
Yes, I know, but this is why I provide the notes in advance.
I know, but
The
still.
boss has jiggle physics!
I mean,
This is-
remember, this is Namco Bandai's baby. This is not with FromSoft. So yes, it's going to be a little bit more crude.
Yeah!
Are you kidding? I'm loving this.
I mean,
This-
it's still good, but I'm
This
just telling you,
screams like it's going to be full of power of friendship bullshit all over the place here and there.
Just,
Like, oh my god.
just don't expect the complex malarkey that you've seen from the previous Dark Souls games. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to be a survival horror game where you have to go ahead and make sure to live your way to another day, and it looks absolutely stunning, if not a bit grim.
It's definitely stylized as all hell.
It is.
In the face of...
What do you guys think? So, what do you guys think? Are you hyped for this?
I'm interested.
I'm not hyped. I'm like looking at this and going, oh, I could riff so hard on this. I'm riffing on it now. Ooh, man.
Coming next year. But I gotta say, I'm intrigued. I'd like to see a bit more from it. But this first trailer is definitely a good taste of what's to come in this feast.
Well, why does it taste so cheesy? I feel like I just drank the nacho ball.
Because they fried the queso fundido too little.
Seriously, what do I pair this with? Do I pair this with a stout or do I pair this with a white wine? Or actually, given the nature of the game, I guess I should...
Beer! You pair it with beer!
No, I think with a...
Straight up beer.
I actually kind of want to play this game while sitting in a giant throne, looking like Dracula from Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
What is a fanboy but a miserable pile of pillows?
Okay, that's the title of this episode. A miserable pile of pillows.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. We should move
I know
on.
you can't see me, but I'm bowing because this is what I live for. I tell terrible jokes, but every once in a blue moon, I get one that hits.
You get one that nails me right in the funny bone. And trust me, that's hard to hit.
No, I staked it through you, right in the heart.
Oh. Well, given the game that we were just talking about, it's pretty apt. Anyway, next on our list, let's move away from this insanity, although I kind of don't want to.
Well, let's move away from dining to dying, actually, as we pay homage to Stanley Weston, the creator of the modern action figure who died at 84.
Aww. I'm willing to bet we probably all had like one action figure that was probably based on his original design.
Well, this is the man who made the G.I. Joe action figures. So they were the basis for basically all toys afterwards, as a result of that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of weird. They're called action figures, but they're basically the same thing as dolls. It's kind of a weird revelation you get when you get older.
Well, the idea, it goes into gender theory and all that malarkey, and how it's nature versus nurture, and it becomes a giant mess when you think of it too hard. But culturally, his contributions were very important because I would consider it part of the reasons why Power Rangers blew up in the United States, because we had this culture of action figures and having all these stuff, and the Power Rangers just fit right into that.
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, I was a little distracted by killing everything in sight in Skyrim.
God damn it.
I'm an assassin in this build!
That's not assassination. That's called being a serial killer. You're no better than Charlie Manson on a on a fondue fritz.
We're still on the cheese, aren't we?
Oh yes. And someone spiked it with vodka. Because you're missing every other shot. Nah, I'm just kidding around.
Okay,
seriously, though, it does annoy me when people just straight up go on murder binges in games. It rubs me the wrong way.
But you don't have a problem being a murder hobo in a Dungeons and Dragons game.
What's that?
But you don't have a problem being a murder hobo in a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Being a murder hobo?
Yes, you've never heard of the term?
No. Bless you.
Oh dear God.
Oh wait, are you talking about bless you?
Sorry.
The fact that I prefer to play as
It's the best known
mercenaries?
munchkin.
What's that?
The murder hobo. It's the best known munchkin trope.
Which is to say, I prefer to play as
You play
mercenaries?
as someone who goes ahead and will kill as long as it's good for them, and then they move on to the next town. You come to do what you need to do in town, kill some people, grab their shit, and then you move on to the next town without so much of a how do you do.
Well, when you put it like that, I still have a few tropes that I do look to that make me slightly better than just a murder hobo.
Of course, but that is by far the most commonly concerning one amongst dungeon masters when they're playing with characters who seem to act a little bit too meta.
Yeah.
Well,
So that is just an interesting concern. Why are we talking about murder hobos?
Because I was killing things in Skyrim.
Oh yes, because you're talking about murder, rampant, unneeded, unnecessary murder.
And Leo, I'd like to point out, do you remember what my last character currently is?
Yes, I know what your last character in our game was. It was a specifically a paladin with a weapon who could not kill.
Exactly. So
you were Shishomaru with better hair and a more righteous cause.
Okay. I do know who that character is, and
yeah,
that's actually kind of funny.
Anyway, let's get on to the final thing, the final topic of our notes.
Man! No, I'm just kidding.
No, fuck you. Pokemon Red.
That's what I was expecting you to say that earlier.
Okay. Anyway, Pokemon Red, Green, and Donkey Kong are amongst several games that have been inducted into the 2017 Video Game Hall of Fame.
Yes. So the World Video Game Hall of Fame, located in Rochester, New York, has gone ahead and has announced the next class of games, which include Donkey Kong Classic, Halo Combat Evolved, Pokemon Red and Green, and Street Fighter 2.
Really?
Noise?
Yes. Amongst the games they beat out for this class, they beat out Final Fantasy VII,
Wow.
Microsoft Windows Solitaire.
Solitaire?
Well, think about it. Like, how many people play Solitaire on their computers?
My stepdad every goddamn day.
There you go. What was next? Mortal Kombat, Myst, Portal, Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, and Wii Sports.
And these are all highlights for historic moments within video game history?
Correctamundo.
Oh, that's quite the honor, huh?
Yeah. The inaugural class from 2015 included Pong, Pac-Man, Super Mario Bros., Tetris, Doom, and World of Warcraft. And 2016's class included Grand Theft Auto 3, Legend of Zelda, The Oregon Trail, The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Space Invaders.
Does make sense. It really do.
Kind of surprised we took this long for Pokemon to become a member.
All right.
Well, well, keep in mind that some people would be very upset that Final Fantasy got the snub again, but it's everyone has different preferences.
You know, there is one game that I would actually like to see up on. Okay, I am going to go ahead and make a disclaimer right now. What I am about to say may offend. It may cause you to unsubscribe forever, considering all the shit that I may have said about it throughout the years.
Okay.
Call of Duty actually is a historical landmark.
I can't argue with that.
It did do some things that did change perspectives on games, for better or worse.
Mostly worse.
Including the depiction of war crimes in a surprisingly accurate way.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Although I think Spec Ops The Line showed off PTSD more apt.
Maybe, but none actually really made as big of an impact on media the way that Call of Duty did. And a lot of games actually were defined by the Call of Duty tropes for a while. Like it or not, it did influence a lot of games.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Mostly worse.
I think that there needs to be a class that they entirely bring in that is the horrors of video game, like the ones that are so famously bad that they have to be enshrined so that we never make the mistake again.
You mean like the Atari wonderful, wonderful game known as E.T.?
That is going to be the first member on the board, yes. I was also going to include Sonic 06.
Troll Island 2! Or no, Troll Island. Just Super Troll Island.
Patrol Island. Zero, do you have any you would like to add into this dumpster fire of a terrible inauguration class?
Oh, god damn. Where to begin?
Quest 64?
No, I would... The only good memory about that game is still the music.
But you could say that about Sonic 06 as well. And Sonic 06 was bad, if you would like to recall.
Yeah, Quest 64... Final Fantasy 13. Seriously, one of these days I'm going to do a fucking drinking game with that game.
You'll die. Don't.
Well, that's why you don't do it all at once. You do it until you can't take it no more. And you give yourself safe stopping points.
Like what, the end of the hallway?
Reasonably, yes.
The hallway doesn't end! It never ends. It never ends.
This is the song that never
No, shut up!
It goes on and on, my friend.
I'm going to end the podcast off right here and now if you guys do that anymore.
This is Leo Force.
No, I am Leo Force. What are you doing, sir?
I'm waiting for you to take my name. Or
No,
Zero.
I want my name. I chose this name.
This is Leo Hunter.
No, we're not done yet. I
Force.
still need to talk about what's coming up on the channel.
Alright.
Okay, what's coming up on the channel?
What's coming up on the channel?
Another 2 weeks of Fortune Street because we still have one more recording of that.
Woohoo.
After that, I'm going to try to start uploading episodes of Danganronpa every Tuesday and Thursday as well. Hopefully I can get Legended to record a few more episodes, because we did record one yesterday.
We did. And since I am out, I should be able to assist in recordings and all that good stuff.
Yeah, because I'd like to have at least 2 weeks of episodes. What the hell?
I saw that dragon fade in and out of existence.
Sorry.
That's some really bad draw distance.
I was about to say, is it an audio issue?
No. It was
just some straight up Skyrim bullshit. You know, the ones that we love to remember.
like this dragon seems to just be fidgeting around for some reason. I don't know why. I'm actually going to go investigate.
Like watching a lady fall into the floor.
No, it's more like watching someone have an epileptic seizure.
We've seen that.
Actually, yeah, we have. Legend and I... Oh, we should actually quickly mention this story.
Yeah, well, at the time, Zero and I were basically just, like, playfully trying to write the edgiest poem of all time.
We were trying to write a poem about death or something just because we were in high school for one. I was an emo fuck back then.
And we were just, like, having fun making fun of it and whatnot. And as we were writing, like, one of the lines about someone falling down, the guy right next to us had a fucking epileptic seizure.
It freaked us the fuck out.
We were like, oh my god, what magic words have we written?
Do you still have that poem there?
No, it's probably long gone.
Aww.
I think it might have gone out with one of my long lost binders.
But Jesus Christ, did that scare the shit out of us?
Yeah, it was the fucking funniest coincidence to us at the time. Like, holy shit. Of course, it's not fun to be present in the presence of an epileptic attack, and we were the first ones to go and get help.
Yeah, there was actually a guy sitting right next to him that was trying to help or something.
Oh, yes, and I went to go get the librarian went to go get the nurse, and we got all the sharp stuff out of the way, etc., etc. Safety procedure. But, all that being said, we were kind of looking at each other and going, my god, that had to happen the moment we wrote that down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was perfect freaking timing, and at the same time, it was bullshit timing.
Incredibly.
Alright, and with that being said,
This is Death Zero.
This is Leo Force.
And this is not Leo Force signing out.
Bye, guys.
Legends back!
We'll see how long that lasts.
It makes you sound like you're gonna murder me.
Depends.
Are a form of diapers.
What?
Later, guys!